I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
West side till I die. R.I.P. to our boy,
Alec.
R.I.P. to Alec. Oh my gosh, he had to go out. He went out like a G though.
Well, I mean, he went out like it was more of a, oh, surprise, you're dead.
No, I mean, but he still, he went out.
Well, yeah, that's true, because he came, he wanted to see it through.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm with you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Lim Gonzalez, and we are talking The Outsider, the number one show after show in the whole planet.
Whole planet.
The whole planet.
Yeah.
The Outsider. That's what we doing. We're the number one after show. With me, I can't do this by myself because I have to have help because I'm not that great.
Oh,
but
no,
you know
you are.
who's great?
No.
The Allison Dean is great.
I love you, Lem. I was like, you're great, though. You're like, you're Uncle Lem.
I mean, but you're the Allison
Let's
Dean.
just keep giving ourselves compliments this whole time. That would be the most amazing, boring after show for everyone.
No. It would be amazing.
Amazing?
It would be
Okay.
amazing.
All right, fair enough. Love you.
You know who's not here is
Mother truckers.
this Whiston hat chick. I don't know where she is.
I know. She's hoping to land somewhere back in LA soon.
Right. Flight delays, whatever. I don't buy it. But yeah, she'll be back here for the finale.
She better be.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah. She'll be here. She will be here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what did you think about this episode? We're episode 9. Finale's next week.
So I have to say, this one for me flew by.
Okay.
I felt at the end there, I was like, wait, it's over? I was really, and maybe it's because they were doing the flashbacks with 1947.
Right.
If you watch the TikTok, you'll understand why that's funny now. But I think it moved very quickly for me. Even though like the chicken journey was a little slowish, for some reason it still went by fast. I don't know. Did you feel like it was fast?
I definitely felt like it was an impactful episode.
Yeah.
And this is something that we tend to see when it gets towards the end of a season. They start to put in a whole lot of stuff. They kind of drag stuff up in the middle, and then they put a whole stuff. And especially for this type of show, there's a lot of story that they have to give you, right? Because you got to find out who this El Cuco is. You got to find out what's happening. There's a lot of discovery that's happening in this type of show. Mm-hmm. So now that we've kind of, I think last week was kind of like when it all started like going like full speed ahead. So from last week, and then we got this week, and then I think the finale is going to do the same thing. We're going to turn around and be like, wait, what? It's over?
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, but yes, I do agree that everything is moving fast, and I think that is good. I think that I didn't feel cheated. I'll say that. I did not feel cheated this episode.
I did somewhat feel embarrassed that I didn't realize until really the end that it was a flashback scene with those two kids.
Oh my gosh. The Allison
Okay,
Dean.
I admitted it. And it wasn't only, it was because I was watching with my better half who was like, yeah, this is a flashback sequence. I was like, oh, that makes sense now.
I mean, the big
costumes,
giant bag collars,
I know.
the 25 cents,
I was like, that's so interesting.
to go to the cave.
I know. I was thinking, I know. I'm like, what are you thinking, Allison? Anyway, what can I say? I didn't have my Wheaties yesterday when I watched it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. But then I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense now.
I was like, immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh,
You're
flashback.
like, oh, flashback.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So for me, I was thinking, oh, God, El Cuco is going to get them. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
We all forgive you, myself and the
Maybe
viewers.
chat won't, but we'll see. Yeah.
The
Chat's
chat
going to
will.
be like, you're
The chat will
not that
forgive
smart,
you.
Allison.
That's just, we all have one moment. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, thanks
like,
for allowing that.
We all get one.
Oh,
we get
God.
one pass.
Okay.
But just no more.
Fair.
Don't do that anymore.
You're like, don't do it for the finale, Allison.
Exactly. Yeah, so speaking of flashback, we do see, as the opening scene, we see these two boys, and we see their dad is looking for them. Mm-hmm. We recognize the area, but, know it's a flashback. Well, you didn't, but the rest of the viewers knew it was a flashback.
You're like, all the other millions of people out there were totally fine with that being a flashback.
But obviously, we didn't know because it jumped right to present day after that.
Yes.
So, but it kept going back and forth. Which sometimes can be confusing. Sometimes I like for it to kind of be constant, and then I can, kind of digest it and really get it. But it did start going back and forth. But it really, because at first I'm like, okay, I know this ties in, but I was also like, okay, who are these people? Yeah. Like, I'm looking at the names. Okay, the names of the boys. Have we heard that name before?
Right.
And of course, it wasn't until our homeboy who spilled the beans and just ruined it for everybody, Seale, when he started talking about what happened, and then it kind of ties it all together.
Yes.
Now that you know the story,
right?
How do you feel about kind of the origin and kind of the possible situation about how El Cuco was supposedly came to be?
You mean, what do you mean? In the caves?
I'm talking about with all the cave situation, with the people that died in the caves.
Wait, hold on a second. Do we think that El Cuco was in the caves then?
We don't know. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. For me, that was not. I don't know. Now I feel like I really need to ask Chad.
Okay.
Like, is El Cuco in the caves in 1947?
Well, no. I'm not saying that. I guess what I'm alluding to is we know that the caves is significant for El Cuco. It was why it's there, and there's a tie-in to what happened in 1947 to why El Cuco is there right now.
So for me, I don't know if they were setting it up because he's chosen. Well, okay, wait. Well, I think, so here's the correlation. El Cuco is going to go to the place where family members have passed, right? And so Seale has confirmed that a lot of his family was a part of this rescue team.
Correct.
But not in the sense of he had something to do with any of the deaths in 1947.
Right.
Okay. So that did connect with me, right?
Yes.
Where I was like, oh, there's no grave site. So this is the next possible place where there is dead family members that exist there. I was like, oh, and that's why, it was the Bear Cave, and that's why he chose to lair up there.
Right.
Lair up there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. I think
what was the question?
I think what I did, I think what kind of threw you off was I was like, oh, well, the origin of El Cuco.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Did I miss something? I said it. I posed it wrong. So that's my bad. That's my one pass. Okay. So now we both get a pass. We're even.
I was like,
done.
Lem, I feel like I'm really having a moment this week. Okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That was my bad. Okay. I'll take that. Okay. I'll take that L. But that being said,
yes,
I think it's very interesting because obviously and that's why I think I posed the question that way, because I was thinking that we were going to get an origin story for El Cuco to begin with.
Oh.
Like where he started, like he's coming back.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Especially because we get this whole flashback with the whole 1947 situation.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, and that's probably why I asked that question. That wasn't the case. It was strictly for the case of these people buried there. That's why he's there.
Yep, the new grave site.
Exactly.
And I think Holly talking about, what are the, when they did the whole scene where Andy was saying, here's the only grave site. Do you have family members there? And he was like, no.
Right.
And then he was like, the one we had is down the river. And then it was brought up with the Bear Cave.
Right.
It's like, this is all the big puzzle coming together right now. Yeah.
How do you feel about the correlation, basically? Because we see when jumping up to kind of towards the end, when Seale is telling the story, and we're getting as viewers, we're getting the flashback. Seale is telling the story, and he said his grandfather and his grandfather's brothers were down there and basically perished. Because obviously I feel like there's still more that we're going to discover in the next episode. Where do you think that like the correlation, because remember, he then, when he spills the beans, and by spilling the beans, he tells his brother
everything.
When Howard walks out of the room to get some of that good heaven chicken, some leftovers, he then's like, oh, I got to tell you, they're keeping it from you, but da-da-da-da. And Howard's like, wait, what is he talking about? And then literally goes in there and is like, what is your problem? And then Claude notices exactly, like, why did you do that? He's in my head. Because Claude is on board. Claude is completely on board with what's going on and wants to follow suit. Even when they go get the chicken with Howard, he understands
what's
that
happening.
It's to keep him away, but it's not like he's mad at it.
No.
He understands that this is what it is.
It's the reality.
To survive, what have you. But by Seale telling that story, how do you think that that's going to move in the direction going next? Because I feel like there's more that's going to be tied in to that connection.
Seale telling the story to everyone that was not Claude, or Seale, because he wasn't there for that, right?
Seale
was Claude
telling
in the
this
room? To everyone.
To everyone.
I don't know. I mean, I think because grave sites have been something of significance, I think they needed us to understand that this wasn't the traditional grave site, but this is where this story is leading in this specific city. So I don't know if we're really going to get too much more backstory. Like, I didn't necessarily feel like, you know, we're going to see like ghosts of years past kind of a thing come to play, or I think we've seen it. Like, I don't know if we're going to I mean, once they go into the caves, obviously they may see some like skeletons. I don't know. I mean, but I don't really think that's going to be a focus. I think the focus is going to be purely on Cuco.
So you don't think that Claude being related to the people that died have anything to do with Cuco at this moment? You don't think that there's no correlation there?
I don't think so, because we haven't sensed that with any of the past
that we know of, but we're also discovering new things every single episode.
It'd be super interesting if there's some like new correlation made. You know, I'd be like, good on you for tripping me up again. Sure.
I don't know. I'm asking this because I strongly feel like there's going to be some kind of correlation
with the dead, and then
yes. Speaking of, we did see that Ralph goes and he interviews the boy that had the encounter. With Cuco and the grandfather that took him down, Grandpa Davison, and he was talking to the boy. He said, "Hey, basically, you know, this happened. We're just trying to get information. Did he touch you?" The boy's like, "Well, what does that mean?" He's like, "Well, he pushed me. Is that okay?" And so asked the boy if the boy was scratched. He says no. Now, when they talk to Grandpa, they ask him if he was scratched. He says he doesn't know. And I remember when we were talking about this before, and even someone in the chat says they feel like he was definitely scratched. Now, because he said he didn't know if he got scratched, do you think, going back to conspiracy theory, do you think there's going to be something with the grandfather now going forward?
So I'm glad you asked this, Lem, because I was very, very intently looking at his arms when he was in the interview room, and I couldn't really see anything, or at least they were averting eyes to anything.
Sure.
So I'm a little... I don't know. I'm kind of neither here nor there on what they're doing with that. I mean, it'd be great for a segue into season 2.
Right.
But I'm not sure, because it really didn't look like there was anything that happened. If someone has video, like, again, if like we were looking for video or something where we could actually see that for sure there was some kind of a bodily scratch or some kind of DNA transfer that may have occurred, that may respike my thoughts like, oh yeah, for sure he's the next guy. But the way that the interview left off, I was kind of like,
interesting. Okay.
I was definitely I was focused on it though.
Focused on to see if there was
something going on.
I thought it was also eerie that he was describing his face, and he said he had weird eyes.
I know. Like he was wearing a mask.
Right.
And I was
because
like,
they were deep in their sockets. Because we know that he hadn't fully transformed yet.
Yeah. Which
would be an indicator of that situation. Also, I wanted to kind of check in with you because when they were watching the footage.
Yeah. Which footage?
The footage
of
yes. And we see that El Cuco kind of runs off.
Yep.
And they feel like, why is he out so early? Because they feel like, he wouldn't be out yet. It's not kind of the maturation that they've kind of discovered that Holly actually came up with, a 45 or whatever the time period is.
Yep.
For him to get his full strength. And they was like, he was hungry.
Yep.
So they feel like he's hungry, and that's why he's kind of out early. But remember, they said if you're hungry, you're going to be weak. And he didn't seem to be weak at all. Did you get anything from that? Because I didn't. Like, I was trying to figure out, like, what are they telling us?
So I think in this case, at least for me, we see that he has been eating. So
I'm just going to interview you.
Okay.
So, the Allison D. What did you think about this part?
So clearly he's eating because we've seen it,
yes.
right?
Oh, yes.
And the difference is they don't know in the past transformations that have occurred what has gone down before these kids have come to pass. So it's possible that he's eaten a lot of things before it gets to the child portion of things, or that being the focus. So I guess I wasn't surprised that he was with energy because he has been eating. He has been not starving. That's where my mind was. But obviously, he still needs more to fully transform.
Right. Okay. I just when they said that, I feel like with these conspiracy theory type shows, these supernatural, where you kind of really have to think outside the box. You can't be too literal with what you're, seeing. I feel
like, Allison, you're so literal.
No, but I only say that to say, like, a lot of different things have meanings. So there's a lot of things. So I'm trying to, when I'm watching this show, I'm looking at certain things when they say things. Oh, it's kind of like the director wants you to pay attention to this particular thing. So when they brought that up about him not
still being weak,
like
not being weak,
right, when he's hungry.
I mean, it's just one of those things. This is the first time where we're seeing more of the life, like the evolution of his development. Right. We have not. This is the first time we've not seen it in any other instance. Every other instance has been after the fact, piecing things together. So not knowing what came before it. So, I don't. To me, it wasn't surprising that he had some strength because he's been freaking consuming people.
Right. Maybe not fully strong.
Right.
Because he was able to be taken down even though he escaped.
I think for me, the question was, if he had taken that kid, would he then have been fully transformed? And I think that's a yes.
If he basically had his way with the kid.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, where confusion lies for me is, like, let's say he just went out and found another person. Would that not have fully transformed him? Would it have had to have been a child?
Because that's obviously where he gets his strength. Or
like super strength? I don't know. I don't know.
Where he lives off of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we know that he eats other things. He eats animals, he eats other people.
Right. Adults.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the kid is the one. And according to also the... what Holly discovered in a few episodes back, the whole El Cuco, figure, the myth or whatever, and talking about, they feed off of children. Now,
okay, so now when you're saying this, that also kind of lends itself to, so he may have strength and he may be he may be coming into shape, but it's really only when he feeds on children does his full strength take shape. So maybe that's a possibility too, is he's feeding on these other things to get him through, if you will, but it's not really going to sustain him because he's meant to eat children. It's
like eating a bunch of sides. And then
not the main course.
So he's eating a bunch of sides.
And it's not really.
Yeah. It's giving him a little nourishment, but he needs the main course.
And even though it appeared that he was strong, I mean, it could just be, when someone is, if we were comparing him to a human being with like adrenaline, or you're in like a very fueled situation, you gain strength in those moments that you don't necessarily, you may be fully depleted, but somehow in these situations, you're like amped up with all the different... everything running, coursing through your body. So perhaps for a demon, it's similar.
Similar traits for demons.
No. All that adrenaline. All that demon adrenaline.
Oh, okay. So another question.
Yeah.
Because, it's an interview. So there was a couple of scenes where we saw what appeared, I believe, I don't remember seeing this individual before. And it was present day.
The attorney guy.
The person that they said, hey, there's a kid that died. And they bring him to, he's like, do you want to see it? And he's like, no, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Send me, call me, or what have you. I've never seen that guy before. And I was trying to figure out where it fit in.
So I was having, okay, and again, I'm like, chat. Oh, we're getting questions in here. Okay. Part of me was thinking, was that the attorney, was that the prosecutor that was going after Terry?
Oh, at the beginning.
At the beginning. There was a part of me was like, was that guy? Because it's been a while.
Right,
I mean,
it
that
has.
was like 7 episodes ago. So I was like, is that the guy? And he said that he was not going to pursue his run for office. He was going to go back to doing whatever, maybe just regular legal work that he was doing. So there was a part of me that was like, I think it's that guy. And
you could very well be right.
That was my hunch. I'm like, chat. That's what I was thinking. And what was interesting about that scene is you could see that guy was looking at these photos and really eyeballing. It seemed like he was eyeballing the green schmutz. Right? Can I call it that?
Right.
And kind of postulating something. Now that body, I don't know who that was. I don't think it was somebody that we are privy to. It was a different kid.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I believe.
There's definitely something there though. So
Sure.
I'm hoping that in finale we're gonna really piece together what that looks like, and is this new photo gonna then tie back to what everyone else's work? I don't know.
Okay, that makes total sense because for them to bring on a random character
that was
who
weird,
has
right.
no ties and then kind of just really gave it 2 scenes and then that was it.
They're saying yes, it was him.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Booyah.
Jerry O'Brien, give me shelter. Yes, they all said yes.
You said there were some questions in there.
There's one question. It's this is from Nuff Said New York. El Cuco doesn't only eat the children but also sodomizes them. Why do you guys think this is?
I think it just ties into the legend. We know that basically this is, a supernatural, demonic, extraterrestrial kind of force. And if we're going to, because they're lying heavy on the legend and they're lying heavy on the name El Cuco.
Yeah.
So because of that, I believe that is what the legend says.
Yep.
So I think it's just following suit of what.
Honoring that.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
Boom.
I like
That's
it.
where I'm at. Boom. Okay, so that helps me tremendously.
Another question.
Another one. Ask away.
I'm like, now they're interviewing us, Lem.
Right.
Jerry O'Brien wants to know, will Maria get freedom?
Will Maria get freedom? Interesting. I don't think this season.
I know, that's the thing too. I wonder if they're going to focus on that.
I don't think this season.
I'm with you on that.
Because I think that there's only one more episode.
I would tweet the producers, y'all. Be like, Maria needs to get her freedom, season 2. # season 2.
Booyah. But yeah, nothing's going to happen with her in this season.
It would be very accelerated of them to pack that all in.
And I can't see that happening in one more episode. Because we're at a huge pinnacle. I mean, there's like a shootout, that it ended on. So there's got to be a lot more with that. And then they're still keeping us with
new stuff. I mean, the DA is back, that guy.
Right.
So
he's
that
back.
was right.
And then we got Miss Maitland. Glory is still kind of in the picture.
Yeah.
We still see her, giving us things that to ponder on.
Right.
Stuff that she's still involved with. So
there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I don't think that that's going to come back this season, but possibly in season 2.
Season 2.
Andy and Holly are so nerdy.
I love it.
They're like love nerds. Instead of Lovebirds, they're like love nerds.
They are love nerds.
They're love nerds, and it's just so funny when I just love them together.
I know.
It's weird because you have this crazy story, right? And in the midst of all that, you see these two nerds just kind of bind together, come together, and just find each other and just feed off each other, not literally, like El Cuco, but literally but in the sense that, they're really eager about solving what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously Holly was hired and he just kind of tagged along because he likes her. But he's also, this interests him.
Mm-hmm.
So when you saw that, we did see that they had kind of went back to where the incident happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so she noticed that the green, what did you call it?
The green schmutz?
Yeah. that was on the map. Right.
Yeah.
And so obviously left by. And I'm wondering
he was here.
Right,
yeah.
right. So my thing is, I'm wondering, we never saw that they tested that or anything like.
They alleged that they tested it.
The barn.
At the barn, and also, didn't they send in the samples that were in Ralph's kitchen?
But that was to determine the DNA of they're trying to the doppelganger, right? This situation.
No, I think they were trying to analyze the fact that it was Demon Guy that was in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if we really got firm. I don't know if it was that whatever came back was they couldn't read it or it was a false positive or not. I'm like, chat. But you're right. It's sort of we don't. I think we're gonna get that in the finale, like a very specific, at least something.
Right. Because
I feel like I'm speaking in tongue right now.
I think that because that would obviously. I'm just curious as to if there's any biological content to that, you know, where you see like, I mean, this is, I don't know if this will be classified as science fiction, but in science fiction shows or movies, you see that, you know, they leave the alien leaves DNA type, you know, stuff that they analyze and like, oh, this is a creature from another planet.
Right.
Da, 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 da. So I'm just wondering if, I don't remember.
They need to send it to like the CIA, like Black Ops, weird, like
So
underground Men in Black lab.
But this is more, I wouldn't say this is not alien. This is more of a
like weird
supernatural situation jumping off. So obviously, you know, we hinted about this at the beginning, RIP. But I mean, we see that everyone kind of comes to a head where Cuco is at, but he's also got his minion.
Well, literally the minute that Seale tells Claude, they're all coming for you, what do we see? Go right to the cave, and we see Jack. He, like, you know, reawakens.
Right.
Or, you know,
well,
like...
I think Cuco awakens, and then
trigger
like,
something in Jack.
Summons his minion, Jack, who is basically doing his bidding.
Ready to go.
He's definitely ready to go.
And did exactly what I thought he wouldn't do.
What?
Well, I really thought he might sort of rally against, like, in the part of his brain. Well, last week when I said, like, I thought he might be able to overcome this on some level. Like, his right brain is still gonna say, oh no, especially when he sees everyone get out of the car, sees Ralph, you know, is eyeballing all these people. I thought it might trigger something for him to go, oh shit, I can't do this. No, that didn't happen.
Did not happen.
That was for sure not what happened.
No, it was like he wasn't even fighting it. Like he was just ready to
Focused.
go.
Annihilation.
Right. We still don't know. I mean, once this all happens, I mean, he could have a moment of consciousness in the midst of all this. We heard that there were several gunshots.
Oh my, there were so many.
Right. So, but we don't know if that was retaliation.
I know.
Well, I mean, it just goes dark after,
I know.
you know, our boy is gone.
Yeah.
But the way they ended that, I'm like, yo, because everybody is there. We got Holly is there, Andy is there, and Ralph, and I mean, everybody is there. And then we got even the ones that are coming on the way. So they're going to add to that whole situation. So it's like it almost comes to a head at this Bear Mountain, which I think is great.
Bear Mountain,
Bear Cave or whatever,
I like the sound of Bear Mountain, though.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Sounds like a ride at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're all coming ahead, which I think is good writing because it's just showing the culmination of this all, and everybody that's been involved with this case is now all in this one place kind of for the standoff situation.
Standoff.
Yeah. So that being said, I think we should go to our special segment.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do that.
Hindsight. We've kind of talked about this, but definitely the one for this episode for me, and I think you agree, Lem, is stupid freaking Seale telling, like, after all the buildup around what everyone has been telling this guy, like, if we tell Claude anything, the demon is then gonna know. And yet, Seale must have not heard that. Or he heard something else, or he interpreted that in a different way. What a dum-dum. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, hindsight. Maybe you shouldn't have done that, Seale. Like, you just killed Alec Pelly. Boom. Yeah. You killed him. Done. He's done because of you. We don't know who else might be done, but we know for sure him. Damn Seale.
Yeah, it definitely was like all of the work that they put together into making sure that Claude and I mean, they literally like all the checks and balances get to Claude, you know, protected him, figured out all of this stuff, and literally was just spoiled.
Boom.
And the thing is, he is very he's very rogue. He's very stubborn. You can tell like he didn't want to be with this from jump.
Right.
And like they kept trying to convince him and all this kind of stuff. And anyway.
But the moment that he told Claude and Claude was like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
You could see he swallowed it like real hard.
Yes.
And then he was like, oh shit.
Right.
So,
hindsight.
But anyway, hindsight. Yeah.
There it is.
I know.
Booyah. Now it's time for news and gossip.
So, yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I'm like, news and gossip. Well, I did a little Googling, y'all, and I'm saying y'all like I'm April. I'm like, let me assume her role of news and gossip. Did a little Googling because, as you know, I love this show, and I thought to myself, what is the likelihood that they're even talking about a season 2? And if you all Google, you will find that there is some conversation about a season 2. So...
because the ratings are really good.
The ratings are really good. Obviously, the fandom is there. There's some conversation around how HBO might do it if they were to do it, a la, is it going to be True Detective style, where it would be a new cast, new storyline? I'm kind of not hoping for that, but I'm curious either way, and let's see. But I would say, I don't know, write a letter to your congressman. More on that maybe next week. We'll defer to April.
Yeah, I hope there's a season 2.
I know, me too.
I think this show is really good.
I know.
I think it's definitely it's giving us that whole supernatural aspect, but still kind of down to earth. You know, obviously, if you're a fan of Stephen King, this is definitely the show for you. I love the show. I put like and love together. I love the show. I love the show. My brain. Oh,
I'm doing it to you. That's what it is.
I love this show.
Yeah. Live the show.
I love this. But no, I think it's a good show. My only disappointment has been that Jason Bateman wasn't in it more.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was obviously at the beginning, but I'm thinking like, oh, he's going to be all the way through. It's going to be amazing and da-da-da-da. But I get it. You know, he's at the beginning and he's producing.
And going back to Ozark.
That. Right. Of course. So I'll just have to get my fix on Ozark.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think the fans have spoken. And so I really hope there's a season 2. And I don't want it to be like the other HBO show because that would suck. Yes. Oh, I see your face.
Okay, so
what's going on?
Nuff said New York on chat just said, my conspiracy theory is that in the flashback, the older boy is actually El Cuco luring the younger brother into the cave. In the barn scene, the younger boy says, tag, you're it. And they're making comparisons that people are referring to El Cuco as it. And, you know, Stephen King's It, you know, like, oh my God, that's creepy too. Whoa. That was like literally one of the scariest movies in my life when I was a kid.
Wow.
The movie It. Fun fact for everyone out there that wants to know about my horror movie past.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? There's a lot of groovy stuff happening in chat. Sorry, I'm like very distracted by all of you.
No, but we appreciate it.
I love it!
No, because it's really good. It's really good.
But I'm looking at my phone just so you know, but it's really chat, just so you know.
Yeah. Just so you know.
It's literally all of you that I'm reading right now. Yes.
All of the chat.
Yes.
That is an interesting
I
conspiracy.
know,
That
right?
is an interesting conspiracy.
My mind did not go there, so that is fascinating.
Yeah, that is.
Mm.
And whoa, but
No,
wait,
hey.
I did.
But wait, there's more.
I did say, I'm waiting for my cue. Where's the okay, anyway. There it is. So I did say that I felt that there was a connection between...
I know, you did.
Right. So I'm just saying, I did say that. I didn't say that exactly, but I feel like there's a connection because why else would they do it that way?
It'd be super interesting if Cuco took the shape of a kid. That would be interesting to me. Like if we...
But that would make sense because if it feeds on children, then it would be interesting if it was a child itself and somehow died in a sense.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? As a child, you know? Like, we've seen similar storylines of that before in, like, horror movies and things like that. So,
that just really blew my mind.
It's not impossible. It's
Yowza.
not impossible. Just saying. Boop, boop, boop. Let's get into... Hey! That's it. That is correct. All right, let's get into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Well, okay, so finale. This is it, right? So I'm really just hoping that they take him out in some very crazy way. And I don't know what that looks like. And I think Jack's going to die. I think Jack's going to get taken out execution style. I think that's going to happen. I'm hoping because he needs to at this point. I mean, he's not coming back from this. And I think El Cuco. But I also hope that I hope that some of these puzzle pieces really connect for us, because I just think that there's a lot of info that we're still. I think Holly's going to be the one to sort of like say it very eloquently for us in just like one sentence, and it's going to make us all go, oh. That's where my head is at. Okay. Was that a prediction? I don't know. You go. You tell me everything, Lem. Predict away.
Right. So I don't think that El Cuco is going to die.
What?
I do agree with you about our minion. I definitely
he's
think
going. Jack's going.
Jack is done. I mean, Jack's been done. Mm-hmm. Right? He's just a puppet, a shell at this point. So definitely he's got to die. I think that there are, as I mentioned before, there are going to be other principal characters that are going to die in that kind of gunfight melee situation.
It'd be really interesting if Seale was one of them, because it's his fault.
That would be interesting. I mean, but that would also be karma,
Sucky.
or I guess.
That's what I mean. Yeah, right.
Kind of.
Well, sort of. Yeah.
A little bit. So yeah. So it would be interesting with Seale, but I feel like I said, a couple of the other characters, I don't think it's going to be Ralph. I don't think it's going to be Ralph. But I could definitely see the attorney. What's his name?
Howard.
I don't know.
I think
Howard could go. I think even though they've been protecting Claude, it could be interesting that he's the one that, after all of this, protection that's been happening, he still ends up perishing. So there's a lot with that, but I definitely feel strongly that El Cuco is not gonna, because that obviously gives us season 2, right?
But I was also thinking that season 2 could be other weird demon-y things that are happening. It could be other demons. It doesn't have to be this one demon that we're just like trailing and looking at kids. I mean, Stephen King has a bevy of like weird demons that we can think of.
But it's the outsider. I mean, I don't know that it ends up being a different.
I don't know. I think it could be. I feel like there could be like weird serial murders happening by other demons across the USA.
Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to me and Allison Dean's rants of this show, and me basically asking her a bunch of questions and interviewing her about her thoughts. Yes, I have been Lim Gonzalez, which I always am. And you can find me everywhere at Uncle Lim. The Allison Dean, where can they find you?
At the Allison Dean.
Oh, it's so easy. That's crazy.
Easy. And yet, it's like my 3 followers, but that's okay. I still love you all.
But they're hardcore followers.
They are. They're hardcore.
Super hardcore.
That's appreciated.
Also, thank you for everyone on the live chat.
Yes.
Live chat, you are blessing this particular episode. We appreciate it. Also, as I always mention, keep the conversation going with the comments. We do appreciate that. I will definitely comment with you because I want to respond to what you got to say and keep it going. Wide Shot. Next week's the finale. Yeah, it's going down. And it's going to be the full trio will be here. And it's going to be super lit. I'm super excited to see how this season ends. So stay with us. Be with us. It's going down next week. Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.